This is PV Ramana, Jail in English, Tsrjc Sarvail. Welcome to webinar classes of TRA Society, Telangana. Today, in this session, we are going to continue the module 1 of part 2. The lesson My Mother is prescribed for first year intermediate students of Telangana state. Now let us see the paragraphs 7 to 13 under part 2. You can find these paragraphs at the 4th and 5th pages of first year intermediate interactive English. Before reading the paragraphs 7 to 13, let us go for a recap of part 1. Yes, topic, My Mother, intermediate first year English, module 1, part 2, 7 to 13 paragraphs. And this has been taken from APJ Abdul Kalam's autobiography, My Journey. Let us see what we discussed in the previous session. My mother. Kalam's early life was filled with the beautiful memories of Rameswaram and his parents. His father had his own small business besides being the Imam of mosque. His mother was a devout Muslim like his father. Kalam's family consisted of his siblings, himself, their relatives, grandparents, uncles, all of whom lived in the same house. They had a steady income from coconut groves and ferry business, but that just covered the family expenditure. So there was never any question of enjoying comforts. Here, Kalam shared his fond memories of his mother. She used to serve the family with love and care. She cooked and served not only for the members of the family, but also for the unexpected guests. She understood the real meaning of Indian hospitality. He could never see on her face any sign of irritation or anger. He remembered eating with his mother, sitting on the floor. They ate of banana leaves, rice, pickles, aromatic sambar, coconut chutney were the staple foods. Kalam loved the sambar as it was a perfect blend of sweet and sour taste. During the days of World War II, during 1939 and 45, there was an acute shortage of food. Kalam's mother and his grandmother often reduced their portions on their plates as they wanted to give more to their children. One day, Kalam was so hungry that he went on eating chapatis made by his mother, leaving none for her. Later, his brother scolded him gently for not realizing the fact and for being indifferent. So we discussed up to this part in the previous session. And in this session, we are going to read the remaining paragraphs from 7 to 13. Let us see. Yeah, this is the exact passage that has been taken from your textbook. Interactive English, first year intermediate, at page 4. Let me read the passage. That moment of shame, of heartbreak for my beloved mother, who looked frail, yet was the toughest woman I knew, broke my heart. I cried to myself, too mortified to show my face to anyone. And it was only after a few days that I could bring myself to look her in the face again. What a lesson that was for me to never forget the needs of those around me. Her love drove her to share her food with me without a second thought. And after my brother showed me the truth, I could never again eat without making sure there was enough to go around, especially for my mother and grandmother. I left home fairly early in life as I wanted to pursue my studies in the different larger town. As a result, I could not remain my mother's little boy for too long, unlike many of my friends. But her generosity and caring spirit stayed in my heart always. I have taken 7th and 8th paragraphs now. We have come across some new words. Let us see meanings for the new words. Here, frail. Frail means weak or thin. Mortified. Mortified means feeling ashamed. Pursue. Pursue means to aim for or go after specified objective. It means the character of being willing to donate money, time, or resources. Yes. Here, let us read the paragraph once again. 7th and 8th paragraphs. The moment of shame, of heartbreak for my beloved mother, who looked frail yet was the toughest woman I knew, broke my heart. When Kalam came to know what had happened on the day through his brother, elder brother, almost his heart broke for his mother. His heart broke for his beloved mother. Yes, he cried himself and too mortified. He felt ashamed and he could not show his face to anyone because on the day he did not notice that nothing was left for her mother. And it was only after a few days that I could bring myself to look her in the face. What a lesson that was for me to never forget the needs of those around me. Actually, it was a profound lesson to Kalam. Through every incident, Kalam learned wonderful lessons. Her love drove her to share her food with me without a second thought. It's really wonderful. Actually, she had a deep love for the boy, so that love for him drove her to serve her food to him without a second thought. And after my brother showed me the truth, I could never again eat without making sure there was enough to go around, especially for my mother and my grandmother. So Kalam learned a wonderful lesson from this incident also. I left home fairly early in life as I wanted to pursue my studies in a different larger town. Kalam wanted to continue his studies. He wanted to pursue his higher studies. So he left home early. And he could not remain my mother's little boy for too long, unlike many of his friends. But her generosity, of course, he left home fairly at an early age, but his mother's generosity and caring spirit stayed in his heart always. Now let us see the summary of these two paragraphs, 7th and 8th. Let us see. Here I have given, please look. After Kalam finished his eating, his elder brother scolded him for not noticing that none was left for their mother to eat. He felt ashamed and couldn't show his face to anyone for days. It was a profound lesson to him. He could never again eat without making sure there was enough to go around, especially for his mother and grandmother. Kalam left home at an early age as he wished to pursue his higher studies in a different, larger town. So he couldn't stay for too long with his mother, like many of his friends. Now let us go to the other part of the lesson, that is ninth paragraph. Let us see. Ninth and 10th paragraphs are taken here. Look, I'm going to read. Again, during World War II years, when I was about 8 years old, I took the job of a newspaper delivery boy. My day began well before dawn when I had to go for my tuitions, my Quran class, do my newspaper rounds, go to school, and then return home well into the evening when I had to study for the next day. In all this, my mother stood by me like a rock. Early in the morning, she would wake up well before me, get the water ready for my bath, and then call me. My mother saw me off and would be waiting for me to come back an hour or two later. When I would have to go with my father to the Arabic school for my Holy Quran lessons. As I went from place to place during the daytime, all I had time for were the meals that would be laid out me promptly. I know that many times my mother reduced her own share so that I could have enough. When I once questioned her, she only smiled and said, "You are a growing child. You have so much to do all through the day. That is what mothers look out for. Don't worry about me." In the evening, when I returned home hungry and tired, she would again help me clean up and prepare for the next day. So these are ninth and 10th paragraphs. This is ninth paragraph. Just let me read the next paragraph also. Among all my siblings, I was always given priority in taking a place by her. Once I remember, I fell asleep with my head in her lap. She sat quietly, her hand softly caressing my hair and cheeks, her touch the most precious balm for my tiredness. Unknown to me, from somewhere deep within, tears sprang up in my heart. Before I could stop them, they started flowing down. My eyes were still closed, yet the tears ran. They dropped onto my folded knees and seeped into my mother's sari. But she did not stop her caresses. She knew exactly what was giving rise to those tears, the extreme tiredness of a boy suddenly trying to be a man. Her fingers ran tenderly through my hair, comforting, soothing, and understanding. Now, let us see. There are some more new words. First of all, before going to talk about these paragraphs, let us find out meanings for the new words. Tuitions means the act of teaching, especially to people in small group. Caressing means touching gently. Soothing means comforting. Seep means flow slowly through small holes. That is called seep. Some more words. Yes, let us see. Let us come back to the paragraphs. Again, during World War 2 years, when I was about 8 years old, I took the job of a newspaper delivery boy. Yeah, actually, when Kalam was 8 years old, he took the job of a newspaper delivery boy. So why did he do so? It's wonderful. Kalam wanted to support because the family had a meager income. So Kalam wanted to support the family expenditure or the family income. He wanted to support. That's why he took up the job of a newspaper delivery boy. Yeah, here in the ninth paragraph, you are going to see how hectic his schedule was. My day began well before dawn, before sunrise. His work, generally, he used to start his work before dawn, before sunrise. When I had to go for my tuitions, my Quran class, do my newspaper rounds, go to school, and then return home well into the evening when I had to study for the next day. In all this, my mother stood by me like a rock. Yeah, this was the routine of Kalam. And during all these works, yes, excellent support, wonderful support was extended by his mother. Excellent support was given to him by his mother. Here, early in the morning, she would wake up well before me. She get water ready for my bath and then call me. My mother saw me off and would be waiting for me to come back an hour or two later. When I would have to go with my father to the Arabic school for my Holy Quran lessons, as I went from place to place during the daytime. So his schedule was very hectic. In the morning, he used to go for the rounds of newspaper rounds, going to school, coming back, and in the evening, he had to study for the next day, attending Quran classes, all these. So it was a tight schedule for Kalam. As I went from place to place during the daytime, all I had time for were the meals that would be laid out for me promptly. Yeah. I knew that many times my mother reduced, here, this is wonderful. I knew that many times my mother reduced her own share so that I could have enough. How great she was. Yes, in one occasion, Kalam asked her mother, why did you serve me more? Why did you reduce your part and allocate even your part to me? He asked his mother. Look at her answer, a wonderful answer given by Kalam's mother. You are a growing child. You have so much to do all through the day. This is what mothers look out for. Oh, don't worry about me. Yeah, mother's love is precious, very valuable. Don't worry. It is same with all the mothers. And in the evening, when I returned home hungry and tired, she would again help me clean up and prepare for the next day. How great. Among all my siblings, what is siblings? Siblings means brothers and sisters are siblings. I was always given priority. He was given importance in taking a place by his mother. Once he remembered, I fell asleep with my head in her lap. She sat quietly, her hands softly caressing my hair and cheeks, her touch the most precious balm for my tiredness. Look, balm means, suppose if you get a headache, generally when people get a headache, just they apply some balm. Here, Kalam says his mother's gentle touch was almost a precious balm for his tiredness. Wonderful. Unknown to me, from somewhere deep within, tears sprang up in my heart. Before I could stop them, they started flowing down immediately. Yes, tears welled out, and before he could stop his tears, they started flowing down. My eyes were still closed, yet the tears ran. They dropped onto my folded knees and seeped into my mother's sari. Seep means to flow slowly through small holes. That is called seep. Okay. But she did not stop her caresses. She knew exactly what was giving rise to those tears. The extreme tiredness of a boy suddenly trying to be a man. Her fingers ran tenderly through my hair, comforting, soothing, and understanding. Now let us see the summary of these two paragraphs, ninth and 10th paragraphs. See this. Yes. When he was 8 years old, when Kalam was 8 years old, he took the job of a newspaper delivery boy to support the family's income. His routine was a hectic schedule, a tight schedule. He had to attend his tuitions, Quran class, Quran classes, newspaper rounds, go to school, and then return home well in the evening when he had to study for the next day. In all this, his mother supported him a lot. As he went from place to place during the daytime, all he had time for were the meals that would be laid out for him promptly. Go for the next one. Kalam was recollecting that he was always given priority. Priority means importance in taking a place by his mother. He used to put his head in his mother's lap and sleep. Then his mother would caress his hair and cheeks gently. Her touch was a precious balm for him. Unknowingly, tears would flow and seep into his mother's side. The mother could understand that they were due to the extreme tiredness of a boy who was trying to behave like a man. So now let us see the next part of our story. 11th, 12th, and 13th paragraphs. This simple lady, Kalam's mother, born and raised in a small southern Indian town, was perhaps like many other mothers in our land and beyond. She did not step out of the house and take part in the affairs of the town. She did not make a career in the way we think of it nowadays. Her realm of work remained the home and the family, yet within that she served everyone and God with utmost devotion, selflessness, and piety. It is this lesson that I have carried from her life, that it does not matter how large or small your sphere of activity is. What counts finally is the commitment that you bring to the job that has been ordained for you in this life. My mother lived at the age of, my father lived to the age of 102. When he passed away, he left behind a family that included 15 grandchildren. His passing away affected me deeply. I came home from my work at Tumba and sat by my mother for a long time. When I had to leave, and she blessed me in a choked voice. I was in the thick of building the SLV-3 rocket and work beckoned me. She never once asked me to stay back. Should I have done so? Should I not have been so preoccupied with my work and instead spend time with this old lady who I was never to see again? I have asked myself this and do not have an answer. My mother passed away soon after my father died. It was perhaps fitting that she would not live alone, without the man whose side she had never left for over 80 years. After I received the news of her passing away, as I made my way to Rameswaram, memories of her assailed me. The two people who had created me, not just as their child, but molded my thoughts and personality, were now no more. I would have to live out the rest of my life without their guidance, but I knew one could not have lived long without the other. And that is what comforted me as I returned to the mosque where I had learned to pray with my father. The azan from the mosque once used to bring all of us together, our parents leading all the children in the prayers. Now it is a sweet reminder of a beautiful childhood, of parents lost to time, of a mother who understood her boy's deepest feelings, even if they remained buried in his heart. Let us see new meanings for new words. A realm means a sphere of activity. Ordained means ordered. In the thick of means involved in a busy work. Beckoned means inviting. Assailed means disturbed. Azan means a call to Muslim public prayer chanted by a specially appointed person from the minaret of a mosque. Now let us see one by one the paragraphs. Yeah, here in the 11th paragraph, he is talking about his mother. Unlike most of the women of today, yes, her mother she did not make a career in the way we think of it nowadays. Her realm of work remained the home and the family. Her only concern was her home and the family. And within that sphere, she served everyone and God with utmost devotion, selflessness, and piety. She never stepped out of the house. She never poked her nose into the affairs of that town. She never entered the affairs. She never took part in the affairs of the town. Her concern was her the home and the family, and she served everyone and God with utmost devotion, selflessness, and piety. It is this the lesson that I have carried from her life. What was the lesson? How big the task you are going to do, how large or small the sphere of activity, your activity is. What matters finally is the commitment that you show to your job. Yes, it is an excellent lesson, an excellent lesson he learned from his mother's activity or role, from his mother's role. And in the as his father lived to the age of 102, and when he passed away, he left behind a very big family that included 15 grandchildren. Passing away means died. Passed away means died. His passing away affected me deeply. I came home from my work at Tumba. Actually, at the time he was working at Tumba. You know, the Tumba, it is in Tirunanthapuram. Yes, there is a rocket launching center. Yes, that is Equatorial Rocket Launching Station is there. At the time, Kalam was working there, and he was in the thick of, means he was in the busy schedule. He was in the tight schedule of building the SLV-3 rocket, and work invited him. He was, yes, there was a heavy schedule. So he took leave of her. When he was ready to take leave of his mother, she blessed her son in a choked voice. She never once asked me to stay back. And it was the last time for Kalam to see his mother. Yes, and his mother passed away soon after his father died. It was perhaps fitting that she would not live alone without the man whose side she had never left for over 80 years. Okay. When Kalam, in the 13th paragraph, when Kalam received, sorry, yeah, after I received the news of her passing away, as I made my way to Rameswaram, memories of her assailed me. Assailed me means disturbed me. Yes, he received the news of his mother's passing away. As he made on his way to Rameshwaram, and the memories of his mother disturbed him a lot. Yes, what was he thinking? The two people, who are the two people, his father and mother, yes, who had created him not just as a child, they shaped, they molded his thoughts and shaped his personality, as those two were now no more. I would have to live. I had to live the rest of my life without their guidance and without them. But I knew one could not live long, lived long without the other, and that is what comforted me as I returned to the mosque. Yes, where I had learned to pray with my father. Just he, when he went to the mosque, there just he comforted. When he visited the mosque, generally he used to visit the mosque in his childhood, and here he is recalling that wonderful memory also. Now it is a sweet reminder of a beautiful childhood, of parents lost to me, of a mother who understood her boy's deepest feelings, even if they remained buried in his heart. Now let us see the meaning of the summary of these three paragraphs. Let us check, let us see them. Yes. Kalam's father passed away at the age of 102. His passing away affected Kalam deeply. He came from Tumba and sat beside his mother for a long time. He took leave of her as he was in the thick of building the SLV-3 rocket. His mother passed away soon after his father died. It was perhaps that she would not live alone without the man whose side she had never left for over 80 years. After he received the news of his mother's passing away, he went to Rameshwaram. Memories of his mother disturbed him very much. The two people, his father and mother, who molded his thoughts and shaped his personality, were no more. Kalam was comforted as he returned to the mosque. The azan from the mosque and his parents leading the children in the prayers was a sweet reminder of his childhood. She was no more, but she was no more. But her deepest feelings for him remained buried in his heart. Okay, this is the our lesson. Totally, it has been. It is 13 paragraphs. Yes, the lesson is given in 13 paragraphs under the title "My Mother." Now let us see some important points regarding our examination. Annotate the following in about 100 words each. Annotations. Let me read. Just I have taken out these annotations from all the 13 paragraphs. Such was the Indian concept of hospitality once upon a time. What a lesson that was for me to never forget the needs of those around me. Her fingers ran tenderly through my hair, comforting, soothing, and understanding. Now it is a sweet reminder of a beautiful childhood, of parents lost to time, of a mother who understood her boy's deepest feelings, even if they remained buried in his heart. So these are annotations. And let us go for questions also, selected questions. Kalam says, answer the following questions in about 100 words each. Kalam says, my mother was a gentle, down-to-earth, pious woman. Elaborate with the information provided in the text, my mother. Second question, narrate two memories of Kalam related to eating. Third question, as an 8-year-old boy, Kalam took the job of a newspaper delivery boy. Explain the reasons. Fourth question, the man whose side she had never left for over 80 years, who was the man? Show how she was an ideal partner to Kalam's father. These are selected questions. Now, before going to leave, just let us do one small exercise. That is here, there is a question. Yes, you will be given a question like this in your public examinations. Match the words in column A with their meanings in column B. There are 10 words in column A, and the meanings, the 10 meanings are given in column B. Just you have to go for matching. Look at this, look at the first word, frugality. aromatic, down to earth, hospitality, soothing, aside, nostalgia, taught, mortified, caressing. Look at the meanings given in the other side, that is under B. Yeah, meanings in column B. Let us see. A feeling of pleasure and also slight sadness when you recall a period in the past. B. Feeling ashamed. C. Comforting, having a gently calming effect. D. Touching gently, showing affection. E. Sour taste. F. Having a pleasant smell. Having a pleasant smell. Next one, G, practical. H, disturbed. Disturbed, came upon suddenly and strongly. I, friendly and generous behavior towards guests. Uh, Last one, the quality of using only as much money as is necessary. Look at the first one, frugality. Frugality means the quality of using only as much money as is necessary. So write against the word, against frugality, against the word frugality, just give the letter J. That is okay. Aromatic. What is aromatic? Aromatic means having a pleasant smell. Down to earth means practical. So write the letter G. Yes, hospitality. Hospitality means that is a friendly and generous behavior towards guests. Soothing. Soothing means comforting, having a gently calming effect. Aside. Aside means disturbed. Where it is aside means look at the look at aside. H, that is disturbed, came upon suddenly and strongly. Aside. Nostalgia, a feeling of pleasure and also slight sadness when you recall a period in the past. Tart, tart means a sour taste. Mortified, feeling ashamed. Caressing, caressing means touching gently, showing affection. So this is matching, and now this is the end of our first part, module 1. Yes. Now there is an assignment for you. Work on the following. Annotate in about 100 words. What a lesson that was for me to never forget the needs of those around me. That is, the first one is annotation. This is, second one is a question. Answer the following in about 100 words. As an 8-year-old boy, Kalam took the job of a newspaper delivery boy. Explain the reasons. So this is your work, right? Now, it is the end of the session. Thank you all.